And we are wrestling with AEW All Out. It's tomorrow. It's it's what's the word? It's interesting to see for all the wrong reasons. I would say. It's not the same AEW a couple months ago when they had all double or nothing. You could say it's a very different AEW, and we're gonna go through it all. We got the pre-show first. FTW Championship match. Hook versus Angelo Parker. Who wins, Drew?
The Hook Kid.
Scooter.
Hook.
Eddie Kingston versus Tomohiro Ishii. I'm not gonna say that this isn't gonna be a bad match because it's probably gonna be a slobber knocker. But did personal issues between Eddie and Sammy cost Eddie a shot on the main show? Drew.
Yeah, it did. Because it shows that you're unprofessional, you can't be trusted. So this is kind of the punishment. But if your punishment is getting to face Ishii on a pre-show, then I take that punishment over being on the main show, to be honest with you.
And it is worth noting Sammy Guevara is nowhere on this card.
Exactly. So in a sense, was Eddie Kingston in the wrong, or was Sammy Guevara in the wrong?
Very true. But who wins this match?
I'm gonna give it up for Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston goes over here.
What say you, Scooter?
Yeah, I gotta give it to Eddie.
Well, do you kind of feel like, these issues between Sammy and Eddie, they might say, put Ishii over? That's kind of how I feel about it, anyway.
Mm. It very well might.
Yeah, I'll go with Ishii. Um, AEW All Atlantic Championship match. The Bastard Pac versus Eddie Izzard. Oh, Kit Sabian. Kit Sabian, yes. This is correct. Who wins, Drew?
Pac regains his title.
Scooter.
Pack retains.
House of Black versus Darby Allin, Sting, and Miro. We're on the main show at this point. Who wins, Drew?
I think it's a screwy finish and the House of Black wins and you continue the feud.
Scooter?
I think it's Sting, Miro, and Darby.
Is this... We're on the main show at this point. Is this a waste of great talent? Having, obviously Darby is one of the most beloved guys on the roster. Sting is fucking Sting. Um, why are they kind of being drawn on this throwaway six-man when we could have, a singles match or a tag team match or something really worth their time?
Because at this point I'm pretty sure Sting is refusing to do one-on-one matches.
Well, I mean, he could do tag team matches. He's been doing tag team matches.
Yeah, but I have a feeling they kind of wanted Sting versus Malachi, and when they knew they wouldn't get it, they ended up throwing Miro into it. Which, by the way, I don't remember. Has Miro ever gotten his revenge on Kip Sabian?
No. I mean, Kip Sabian needed revenge on Miro.
Yeah, that's right.
Does anybody get off this point?
No.
I mean, if Kevin Owens can, hold a grudge for 18 months,
Yeah, exactly.
I think, to be honest with you with this match, I just think it's holdovers from a storyline, and it's pretty much. I like to see the feud continue. To be honest with you, that's why I picked the House of Black to win. But if you harken back to what happened in the ladder match with Miro getting the miss by Malachi Black, it's all storyline based. So this could be the crescendo or the end of the story. So all these six men are intertwined because of storyline reasons, and then this is just the blow off. So if you want the heroes to win, great. If you want the heels to win, great. It doesn't really matter either way. It's a storyline booking scenario. Yes, it would have been awesome to see one-on-one matches. Malachi versus Miro would have been great. Darby versus Malachi would have been great. Brody King and Miro would have been great. But I just think it's all to intertwine a storyline and to wrap it up in a six-man tag is the best way to do it. Plus, it protects Old Man Sting from protects him, but it also makes him look great because he's hidden with these five other great talents.
Well,
it's showtime, folks!
well, let me ask, before we continue on to the next match, this is obviously AEW's WrestleMania. It's their biggest show of the year. Theoretically, supposedly. The matches that I'm going to ramble off after this one. Does this feel like a WrestleMania quality card, or does this feel like some of these matches are kind of thrown together? Some of them are just fill-in matches, so to speak. Start with Scooter.
You forget at a time that's what WrestleMania was. WrestleMania was filled with filler matches. There's a time when WrestleMania was built around really one or two matches. Uh, WrestleMania 5, 6. I I say 7, but yeah, I'd include 7. That 8, 9 had filler matches, but then again, it barely had a card. Yeah, 10. It kind of stopped there at 10. So,
Which is
I
saying is we
mean,
need, what, 5, 7 more all out for it to be a quality show?
I'd say a couple of more years before, and they know how to make every single match matter.
What say you, Drew?
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you guys go to McDonald's for Burger King?
Yes?
Or do you go to Jack in the Box for Chick-fil-A?
Oh, yes,
The
I do.
answer is no, you don't. So our problem is that we're trying to compare somebody that has had, I don't know, 50 years, or let's go with WrestleMania. So like 37, 38 years of booking a prime professional wrestling program. Where, as Scooter said, yes, if you look at go from WrestleMania 3 until about 9, it was built on one match. The only reason why people showed up to Pontiac, Michigan wasn't to see the rest of the card. It was for Andre and Hulk. The reason why I showed up to Skydome in Toronto at WrestleMania 6 wasn't to see the Honky Tonk Man. It was to see Hulk and the Ultimate Warrior. Our problem here is that we are trying to compare somebody or organization in the WWE with WrestleMania that has put on a show for the last almost 40 years. So they kind of have a track record of knowing how to put together a phenomenal product. AEW is what, 3-4 years old at most? And this is what, maybe the fourth All Out? So they're learning, as Scooter said. They're learning to put together a show. You can't automatically think that you're going to get WrestleMania quality stuff from an organization that is not giving you WrestleMania. Let them do what they do. So if All Out is supposedly their biggest show of the year and they want to stack the card with whomever they stack the card with, to me, AEW's problem has never been in-ring. That is not their problem. Their problem is storyline continuity and hotshot booking. That is their problem. They're like Tony Khan is trying to appease every single master. It's the Laughs fan. It's the internet community. It's the guys over at Discovery. It's like if you're gonna book the show, and that's it. It's 14 matches on this card that I see in front of me here. It's 14 matches. Is every match going to be WrestleMania quality or 7 stars thanks to Dave Meltzer? No, it's not. But are they going to entertain you for the 4.5 hours that they're going to try to entertain you? I bet you bottom dollar for what they're giving you value-wise, they probably are. So we need to stop trying to say AEW is going to give us WrestleMania when it's not going to happen. This is their show. Let them book it the best way possible. If it comes off great, great. If it comes off like a shitty show, then we'll complain that it was a shitty show.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think this is going to be a shitty match. I think this is going to be maybe an underrated match on the card. Ricky Stark versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Who wins, Sweeto?
You say Zoe Starks, but you say Ricky Stark.
This is his name.
Starks!
Yes, we're saying the same thing. His name is Stark.
Thank you. I'm sorry, that's the teacher in me. Clearly Starks is on Starks is on a huge push. So yeah, Starks walks away with the win.
What say you, Drew?
I agree. Starks walks away with it. He's getting that babyface push right now. So yeah, Starks wins. Sorry if I said the name wrong.
No, I just did the piss off Scooter. We got the match that everybody bought a fucking ticket to see this, and so bought the pay preview. This is the match. This is the one that's gonna put asses in seats. Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy. Who wins, Scooter?
I mean, technically he's fighting Jack Perry as explained on Dynamite. He's not getting Jungle Boy.
And that would have hit like really strongly if we didn't already know that his name was Jack Perry, because JR mentions it every fucking time he comes out.
I mean, maybe he finally becomes Jungle Man. I think the question here is, does Luchasaurus go back to being a heel again? At this point, Luchasaurus is on par for as many heel turns as Mark Henry and Big Show. But clearly, this is Jungle Boy's match to win. So, yeah, there's no reason Christian should be winning this. He can't outwork anyone, let alone everyone anymore. So, Jungle Boy.
And I think Luchasaurus is on par for giving us a full tank of gas. But Drew, what say you?
He's here all week. Tried the veal, but I think Jungle Boy wins this match. And I really think Luchasaurus is going to play some factor in the match, some way, somehow. I don't know if he's going to turn on Jack Perry or side with him. Who knows? But I just think his promo on Dynamite kind of got me very much interested. Christian stuff that he's been doing ever since he's made the heel turn, and I really think Christian has always been a better heel than he has been a babyface.
Yeah.
But his work that he's been doing with Jungle Boy has elevated Jungle Boy to that next level. So I think Jungle Boy wins here, and Luchasaurus has to play some factor in it some way, somehow.
Alright. Now this is the match that, I just question why. We got Wardlow and FTR versus Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. This is basically a throwaway match where your secondary champion and one of the most over guys in your whole entire company in FTR, and you're giving them Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. No disrespect to those guys, they're great, but I mean, there's no beef there. There's nothing, there's no story there. And Wardlow, again, champion. Why not have him defend the championship? Scooter.
Well, originally, wasn't this supposed to be Samoa Joe
I have no
and
idea.
FDR? Or was it even supposed to? It was supposed to be an 8-man tag. With Lethal and the Gunter, Death Lethal and whatever the tall Indian fella, Satnam
Fatman
Satellite
Singh.
Singh.
Fatman Singh.
Yes, he sure does. We love to hear the Fat Man sings. Yeah, again, I mean, Wardlow is your second top superstar, from a television standpoint. He's the secondary champion. There's no reason he should be part of a throwaway match. Then again, that being said, I think there is a curse on titles when you give them less than 4 letters of a name. So, if the title name has 3 letters or less, it's gonna be bad.
What about the IC title?
That's an abbreviation. See, the TNT title here, that's not an abbreviation. It's not the Turner Network Television Championship.
Well, it kind of is.
Except it's nevertheless, Wardlow. I mean, you should have had your champion defend. I mean, look at the number of talent that's available that you fucking have on your fucking roster, Tony Khan. And as much as I love the Motor City Machine Guns, they're also going to waste here.
Oh, without a doubt.
You may as well just do FTR against the Guns and not the Gun Club, not the Ass Boys. That you might as well just do FTR and the Guns and screw it, have Wardlow and Jay Lethal for the TNT title. Either way, Wardlow and FTR win.
What say you two?
All right. First and foremost, this is more of a booking situation.
Yes.
They don't have confidence in Satnam Singh. Remember, in storyline, Satnam Singh said to Wardlow, "Powerbomb me."
Yeah.
But they don't have the confidence to put Satnam Singh in a one-on-one match to actually do that spot. That's why we're getting this match that means absolutely nothing. It's like an all-star game. It's again, you're putting FTR on the show because they're the most over act on in your promotion, and you're trying to fit them on the biggest show of the year. So you're just gonna throw them on there. I agree with what all you guys are saying. This is all semantics and booking 101. That's the problem. You haven't set you have FTR win these Ring of Honor titles. Why couldn't you do the rematch with the Briscoes on this show? And then you do Jay Lethal with Samoa Joe or Jay Lethal with Wardlow to get the TNT title.
I mean, they had Aussie Open there, who
there were so many other ways you could have gone with this, and it just seems like again you're just throwing pasta at the wall and seeing if it sticks, and it just doesn't make sense with a bunch of people that are not beefing to put them together in a match because they were on a former team together in FTR and Wardlow in the Pinnacle to face a bunch of people they have no problem with. It's just like, okay, you guys are going to wrestle and you guys are going to give us a good 10, 12, 15-minute match and we keep it moving. But I think that's the problem. They don't feel secure enough in the big guy Satnam Singh. That is why we get this throwaway match. See, that is the issue and the problem. You cannot debut somebody that you don't feel confident enough to put them in situations to get them to thrive. Because Wardlow technically didn't need the TNT title. He was already over with that whole stuff with MJF and he's trying to be his own man and yada, 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 yada. And he could have continued on doing that without the TNT title. And like you were saying earlier with that whole House of Black and where to go with that whole situation, there's somebody right there that hasn't gotten their TNT championship rematch in Miro. You could have run some storyline 3-4 weeks ago where Miro is trying to regain that title and he faces Warlord. It's just a lot of this booking has really and truly come down to the last week to 48 hours up into the show, and who knows going into it if any of these matches that we see that is the card actually going to play out on Sunday night.
You might not be wrong about that. With all the drama going on in AEW at the moment, yeah, the main event might not actually happen. But one match I think is going to happen. Jade Cargill versus Athena for the TBS Championship. And that's an abbreviation for that bitch show, just so you know, Scooter. So it has more than 3 syllables.
No. It's not for that bitch show. It's for Turner Broadcast Systems. Get it right. James, get it right.
That being said, who wins, Scooter?
People with weird fetishes. That's who wins. Jade Cargill, clearly.
Drew.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. Jade Cargill wins that one.
Alright. Casino ladder match. Because this is the match everybody wanted to see. Because, everybody that didn't have a match is on this card now. We, Claudio Ida Canoli, Rey Mysterio Phoenix, Rush Hour 3, Dante Martin, Andrade
Sorry to cut you
Idaho,
out. Sorry to cut you off, James. Claudio whom
Ida
is in this
Canoli.
match?
Claudio Ida Canoli.
Ida Cannoli. Oh, cannolis are pretty good.
Yeah, delicious.
Yeah, cannolis are delicious.
Dante Martin, Andrade Idaho, Penta L0, Willa Yuta, and a mystery guy.
Sorry, get it right, James. It's Cash Wheeler Yuta.
Cash Willa Yuta, my bad. Who wins the fucking match?
Let's see. Penta L0 shit. Penta L0 Merd. God. I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's the TBD that wins.
So, Michael Cole?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, is anybody not expecting this? Not expecting that to be Adam Cole?
Not me, baby.
I mean, if it's another, fired NXT talent or WWE talent, watch it be Trent Seven.
Oh, God.
I mean, unless the TBD is somebody significant, this is Mystery the Cannoli's match. So, Claudio Castagnoli.
What say you, Drew?
I like the Adam Cole angle. The safe bet would be Claudio, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's the returning MJF.
Ooh. You know who I said, we didn't say, MJF for sure. Personally, I kinda like to see Rush win this match. But that's just me.
Whoosh.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense.
So it's on par with what AEW does.
Basically, yes.
AEW World Trios Championship match. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Best Friends?
Hangman Adam Page, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver. Dark Order.
Dark Order. Okay, so Dark Order versus Omega and the Bucks. Who wins,
Talk about a waste of talent.
I understand why they put the Bucks and Kenny in this match, so people could actually care about it, because if this was anybody else, probably not.
Yes, but then again, at the same time, it's putting the people that weren't WWE born and bred, into, this is just a weird match. To call. However, I do think it's going to be the Dark Order. I think we're getting Omega and Ospreay. down the line. So, yeah, Dark Order.
What say you, Drew?
Yeah, I agree. It's the Dark Order. I like the fact that you kind of could be wrapping up the whole story with Hangman Page and the Elite there with the Bucks turning on him and all that kind of stuff when he was going through all that stuff in the Dark Order. It's like storyline esque in a sense, and I don't see the point of the Elite having the trios championships going forward. And like Scooter was saying, with Omega and Osprey possibly down the line, I just see the Dark Order winning going forward.
I kind of feel like, they want that name value for attached to who was the first trios champion. So, to me, the Bucks and Omega has more name value. I'm sorry, they do, than the Dark Order at this point. So I'm going with the Bucks and Kenny. AEW Tag Team Championship match. Swerve in All Glory, Isaiah Swerve Scott versus and Keith Lee versus the Acclaimed. Social me aesthetic. Who wins, Scooter?
Uh, by the way, Swerve in Our Glory is the worst team name ever. Oh, God. Yeah, but, yeah, Swerve in Our Glory to retain.
What say you, Drew?
I'm looking forward to this match, to be honest with you. I really like the Acclaim as a team. They're like the homegrown AEW guys that have made it, and I think the story for them is that they just come up a little short on their first attempt at the tag titles, but you'll probably see the best tag champs down the road. So, Swerve in Our Glory, which is kind of a horrible name, sounds like something out of the 1990s, to be honest with you, some kind of R&B group. But they'll win and retain their tag team championships.
I kind of felt like the Acclaim is really hot right now, and usually they pull the trigger on whoever's hot at the moment. Um, that being said, it's a cold match because there is no, heat between these guys, and they're both faces. So, having this match in general just doesn't make sense to me. That being said, going with the Acclaim. Okay, interim AEW women's championship match. Tony Storm versus Jamie Hayter versus Kushida versus Britt Baker. Who wins, Scooter?
Sheeta.
Drew.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Jamie Hayter wins. To be honest with you, I see a storyline brewing there where Jamie Hayter kind of screws Britt Baker, turns face, and wins. Because I don't want to see Britt Baker with the title again, and I definitely don't want to see Tony Storm with the belt. So I'm gonna go Jamie Hayter.
I can agree with you, Drew. I mean, if you want to go with the safe bet, it's Sheeta, and I think if anybody really deserves it's definitely Sheeta. Um, but if we're going with maybe there's a storyline in promoting somebody, Jamie Hayter's the right way to go, and it does feel like that may be the direction they're going. All right, the American Dragon, Brian Danielson versus Lionheart, Chris Jericho. Who wins, Drew?
You know what? I'm going to say no contest. Because it's clear this is leading to some sort of submission match. Maybe even AEW's first I Quit match. With Daniel Garcia on the line, or Daniel Garcia as the special referee, something like that.
Daniel Garcia on a pole match.
And that pole ain't greased. So yeah, I'm going to say no contest.
What say you, Drew?
This match has nothing to do with the two guys involved in the match. This match has everything to do with Daniel Garcia. So I think we're going to get a DQ kind of finish. And it's, to me, setting up for Daniel Garcia to feud with Jericho, because he doesn't feel he's a sports entertainer. He actually feels that he's a professional wrestler. So there's where the story's going, to help propel Daniel Garcia even further along than where he is right now. What he's been doing over the last month and stuff, building up with the matches that he had with Bryan Danielson, I'm still not going to get that right. After 10 years of calling the guy Daniel Bryan, I don't think I'm ever going to get that right.
Oh, yeah.
But him having those matches with Bryan Danielson, I really think going forward, and from what I hear or what I see, Daniel Garcia's hometown is in Buffalo, and next week's Dynamite's in Buffalo. So there has to be some way, somehow, coming out of this pay-per-view that maybe Bryan wins, but it's because of Daniel Garcia's screwing over Chris Jericho in some shape or fashion to set up a match between them down the road.
Okay. I'm just gonna go with Bryan Danielson. I guess it makes the most sense. And then we have the last match, the main event, the thing everybody wants to see. At least in Chicago they do. CM Punk versus Jon Moxley for the AEW Championship. We went into depth last week of, was this a screw job? Was Punk just dropping the title? What was the ideas here? And what we didn't see was that Ashton Crystal was in the front row because we all got pumped. So yeah. Who wins the match, Scooter?
Again, Punk is a victim of his own hubris, and I still want to know what power Ace Steel's words have that can suddenly cure a guy who came back too soon from injury to make him ready for a match 2 weeks later.
1 week later.
Technically, a week and a half. Regardless, they booked themselves into a corner because Tony wanted a ratings grab. What's supposed to be seen as, such an unexpected and shocking, brilliant booking decision. No. And now, if Mox wins on Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Purple Day, last week, if Mox wins, he's technically a victim of Punk's own hubris via proxy, because then what was the point of having an interim champion to begin with? And is it Punk's ego? Is it to make Punk have another feel good moment in Chicago? Yeah, because Tony Khan might as well just say, "Oh, well, you know what? AEW's never leaving Chicago," and just do it. That being said, I would not be surprised if Punk wins thanks to MJF. And we get a Punk MJF team. We've seen what they could do against each other. Imagine what they could do together as a united front. So I'm gonna go Punk.
What say you, Drew?
Okay, this is a whole bunch of, I'm gonna say the word shit, to be honest with you. The whole thing with having, yeah, I'm still on this. Okay, with
Drew? Can you hear us, Drew?
Oh, he's probably going on something passionate, and he may have either turned off his mic or knocked it out of this plug.
Okay, are we still here?
Yes. We are here.
Okay. So like I was saying, it's a story. With the whole Punk losing last week, it's to tell a story, but you don't have the time to tell the story. Because if you took the time to actually build this, like we all knew, I don't know if Punk breaking his foot was probably when he jumped in the crowd after winning the title and all that kind of stuff. But if you had the time to actually tell the story, he comes back too early. He loses in the way he loses, right? But we don't see him on TV. That's something where you shoot these things off-site, where he's there with Ace Steel and he's doubting himself. Like, do I still have it anymore? Am I still the best in the world? And Ace Steel does his Mickey to Rocky moment. That's what happened on this last edition of Dynamite. That's why he got the piss and vinegar to go in the crowd and say, "We are Chicago, and we're gonna fight, and nobody can stop us, and we're gonna show we're the best in the world." That's the story. That's the hook. But the problem with Tony Khan and the rest of the booking committee or whoever else is booking the stick for AEW is that they don't take time for things that are organically made to manifest. They just hot shot everything. I've never been a fan of interim championships whatsoever. Never have been. I'm never a fan when I see them in the UFC. I'm never a fan of. There should be some type of rule in combat sports. If you cannot defend the belt within the allotted in pro wrestling, you can make up a days. You could say if somebody doesn't defend the belt in 30 days, then the belt will be vacated. Something like that. That's simple rule. So if Punk's injury happens, the belt is vacated. You can do those same things. Jon Moxley is the undisputed champion. So when the whole story, now that match could have happened last week. Moxley blows through Punk. Punk doubts himself, but you're not building to All Out. You're building to the next pay-per-view down the road. You know what I mean? Then it becomes more of a bigger match. And
but that wasn't in Chicago.
Well, who cares where it is? Who cares? I don't care if it's. That's another thing that AEW is doing. They're pigeonholing themselves in one market where you're oversaturating the market. Where the market might not even show up if you come back there again in the next couple of months. Because you're over, like this whole weekend, you have Rampage and what Dynamite, Rampage, the pay-per-view, all in one city. You're gonna oversaturate the market. You gotta go away from the city, and I'm glad they're going to other places. They're coming up here to Toronto in October, and all that kind of stuff is great. But why are we booking based upon one particular guy? I know he's your biggest star. I know he's your biggest draw. I know all of that. And for me, that's why I put MJF as the Joker in the Battle Royal, and then Punk can win the belt from Moxley, and then that's where MJF cashes in his particular thing or his chance, beats Punk, and becomes the new AEW World Champion. That's the way I would book it. And then you, like, honestly, now you have pissed off the Chicago crowd. You have pissed off Moxley fans. And who is the most hated heel in pro wrestling before he cut his amazing promo, his own version of the pipe bomb? It's MJF. And that's a homegrown guy now that is now the focal point of your promotion. And in a way, he is sticking it to Tony Khan. That's how you end All Out weekend.
But that would be a great way to end it if they actually did it. But, the way I see it, unfortunately, cut and dry, Punk wins. It should be, honestly, it should be Moxley. But Punk wins. He celebrates with the crowd. Happy moment for Chicago, and the rest of the world is just like, yeah. That's the way I see it. Um, yeah, and that will conclude our coverage of AEW All Out. Join us next week as we review it, because that should be interesting and fun. And I'll conclude this episode as a whole. Thank you so much, Drew, for coming on and talking with us again.
Hey, no problem, man. No problem. Leaves are changing out here in the Great White North. The snow might be falling soon, but it's always a great time to talk professional wrestling with you two.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, if you want more of Drew, where can we find the Gr8ful Yardy Podcast?
Gr8ful Yardy Podcast is available wherever you get your favorite podcast. So that's Apple Podcasts, that's Spotify, that's Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict. You can hit me up on the social media thing. Twitter is DWrestling99. Instagram is Drew_Wrestling99. And if you want, you can check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Gr8ful Yardy. And Grateful is spelled GR8FUL.
And of course, if you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, tell anybody that likes, this kind of stuff. So, we can grow and people could find us as well. Of course, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday as we interview Freddie Hudson. And Wednesday, Sean Donovan. Follow the show at Wrestling with E on Twitter for all new information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and everything else pertaining to wrestling and entertainment. And of course, on Instagram as well at Wrestling with E. You can follow me personally at JamesJ903. You can follow Kaliko at I Am Kaliko, and where can we find Scooter?
As always, find me on Twitter at ScooterDust. Find me, James, and Ryan Dust hosting the Remix on YouTube, a premium audio companion experience for all your WWE Premium live event needs in alternate commentary. Next time we come to you, October 8th, with Extreme Rules. And of course, revel in all my Twitch antics along with Rico Constantino Jr. and the rest of the Smoking Dragons clan, twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons.
For our special guest, Gr8ful Yardy Podcast, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey guys, this is Brutal Bob Evans from Hangs with Bob Seminars and TheWrestleLife.com, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.